What is going on, everybody? It is Mr. E-Rock here, bringing you guys a brand new Apex video. Today's video, we're going to be going over some of the basic and general tips on how to get more wins in this game. But please, guys, understand that these tips won't necessarily make you the best player in the game, and they're not going to get you more kills precisely, but they're basically just going to be putting you guys in better situations to get more wins, and we're talking about wins, period. Just make sure you guys are tuning into the Twitch channel. All that stuff's going to be in the link down below. But yeah, that's where all these clips are coming from, my recent stream. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video if you feel like it. Subscribe for more content as well. And let's get right into some of the tips. Alright, so the first couple are going to be kind of general and basic. But for the first one, take some time to warm up in the training area. I know a lot of people just kind of think it's stupid, but before every stream and the start of my streams, I always start like 10 to 15 minutes in the training area just warming up my shot and getting accustomed to the guns that I most likely will be using for the day. It's going to help with muscle memory. I like to practice flick shots and overall trying to aim for the head as quick as possible. So definitely make sure you guys are taking advantage of the training area while you can. Next tip I have for you guys, again, it's another basic and general one, but make sure you guys are definitely choosing a legend you are most comfortable with, and it's going to help your team out the most. Even if you're just playing with one other person, you know, make sure you're using something you're comfortable with. For me, I love using Bloodhound, I love using Lifeline, and I love using Mirage. Those are the three that I'm most comfortable with. If I'm using someone else, I generally won't do as well. But yeah, just make sure you guys are using a legend that you guys are most comfortable with. The next tip I have for you guys is to choose a consistent landing point where you're very comfortable with. A place where you know you're going to get loot, and if you don't like fighting off spawn, you should probably avoid places like Skulltown, Bunker, and definitely Market. Those are usually three of the very high tier places that people go off spawn. Usually one of the places on the edge of the map are generally pretty good, but make sure you're consistently going somewhere that you like, and if you like it, just keep going there. And you know you're going to get loot, you know you're going to get the guns you want, and yeah, that's just another tip I have. You're going to win more games too if you're going to somewhere that you're very comfortable with. Alright, next tip on the list is to try and always get a similar loadout each game. Me personally, I like to try and stick with the Wingman, the Spitfire, the Scout Rifle, and then I usually like to try and pair it with a shotgun. Those are like my main guns, I would say. I always like to try and have a shotgun, but if I can get like a Spitfire and a Wingman, that's another loadout I like to use. And then Spitfire or Scout, it's just a combination of one of those kind of things. The more fights you take, obviously it's going to help you too. But if you're continuously using the same loadout each time, your muscle memory is going to get better, your aim's going to get better, and you're going to end up ultimately also winning more gunfights and winning more games. Alright, now the next couple ones, they might be a little harder to do depending on if you have two friends you're playing with or if you're forced to solo queue. So I'm going to say, in parentheses, if possible, try and coordinate pushes with your team using the pinging system, talking with your mics obviously over the party speaking. But when you're trying to get more wins, it's not always necessary to push every single fight. I know the audio in the game, you can hear fights from literally across the map and then you'll just run to them. It's not necessary to go for each and every single fight, because not every single fight is going to be right for you and your team. Ultimately, you should be pushing fights that you know you'll have an advantage of. Third partying in this game is a huge aspect to it, and the smarter you coordinate those pushes with your team, the further you're going to go into the match. So definitely try and coordinate pushes together, speak before every single fight you're about to take, and know who you're going to focus on too at the same time. Call out which other legend you're going to go for to shoot first. Like, everyone focus on Bloodhound kind of thing. Alright, the next little tip here is I know this isn't obviously, you're not able to do this every single time, but try and establish high ground in every fight that you can. Having the high ground most of the time will establish better positioning on your enemies, and it will overall give you a better advantage in gunfights. Try working rooftops, like the arches and everything above Skulltown, and also try and look for higher vantage points elsewhere on the map, whether it's just a hill, a rock, a higher up building somewhere in the sky kind of thing. Like, you always want to try and have high ground. With every BR game that I've ever played, having the high ground has always given me a better positional fight, gun-on-gun skill. So definitely try and keep that in mind when you're engaging fights as well. And then finally, the last little tip I have for you guys is to try and stick to the outer portion of the ring when rotating safe zones. Although being in the middle of the safe zone may seem to be the best option, rotating from the outsides will give your team an advantage to third-party other fights of teams rotating, and it'll also set you up very well for the next circle. Like I said earlier, third-partying in this game is a huge advantage, and if you're not trying to third-party those fights, you're going to find yourself in tougher situations. But moving in with the circle has definitely helped me out to get wins. So you guys can try that yourself. That's why I added it to the list here. But yeah, guys, just remember, these are some of the basic tips you can follow if you're strictly going for wins and want to get more wins. It's just to help you get more wins and get the team more wins if that's what you guys are focusing on. But yeah, that's going to be it for me, you guys. Follow the channel, subscribe, and everything. Peep the Twitch stream if you're feeling like it. If you're interested, all the links are going to be in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm just going to let the rest of the little clips play out. And yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one.